Alright, welcome back to our tutorials. So in the previous tutorial we set it up so that when we hit the D key we could actually type some text onto the screen, or actually we didn't type the text, but we created a type on text effect for our screen. But now we've got to refine this a little bit here and link it to our actual game, right? Because right now again we're sort of cheating by hard coding it. So let's work on that. Let's go to our type on dialog, and we need a way to exit out of this, right? And the way to exit out here is, let's add a subcondition. And all right, so when are we done running this code? Let's think about this for a second, right? So we have a counter that's keeping track of how many characters we're pulling from this text, right? This current string text. So we could say something like, when the counter is greater than the length of the text we're working with, just pause the timer, right? Because we're going to use this again, this timer, so we don't need to get rid of it. We can use this again. So how do we do that though? How do we say when this counter? Well, let's do it this way. We'll say variable, value of a scene variable, counter is greater than, right? Not greater than or and equal, but greater than. Now the value to compare is the length of our current string. How do we get that? Well, similarly to the last tutorial, we have a way to do that. And that's called actually str, right, for string, length. Now we need the string length of global variable string, and we need to now just put in the string we're working with, which is for us current string. So if counter, which keeps track of how many characters we're pulling from the string, is greater than the string length, which in this case, I'm not sure how many that is. It's hello world, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for space, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. When counter is 12, then it says, let's hit OK. Go ahead and pause our timer here. Type the dialog, right? But we don't want to just pause the timer. We also want to shut down this here until we need it again. So we'll do value of a global variable, check for dialog equals 0. And we're still not done, actually. Because remember, when we're dealing with global variables, they just kind of stay there throughout the entire project. So we don't want to just stop it there. We want to clear it out as well. So let's set our, we want to clear our dialog, actually, our text here. So let's do text object, here we go. Modify the text of dialog. Let's set it equal to just a space key here. So quotation space quotation. That'll get rid of it here. And I believe if we've done that correctly, we should be able to get our dialog to type twice. So let's hit the D key once. There it is. And then it gets rid of it. We don't actually want that to happen. Oh, I put this in the wrong place. I'm gonna cut this, and I know where I have to put this. So in basic Kingdom Room collisions, remember we toggle disabled this. Well, we're actually going to fix this up now. And it's actually going to be, we're going to change from this collision code. I'm going to delete this. And we're going to change, let me toggle undisable that because we could use hide layer dialog. We're going to say when the user hits the return key, so key released return, go ahead and hide the dialog layer, and let's also blank out that text dialog. So now when we hit the D key, let's go to Basic Kingdom Room again. When we hit the D key, it says do hello world to the text of global variable current string equals 1. Okay, let's hit the D key. There it is. Now if I hit return, it should go away. It does. If I hit the D key again, it pops up, but look, it didn't type the text. This looks like a moment for debugging here for a second. Let's do some real-time debugging. And remember, you have to know how your code works in order to debug and test effectively. So we know that we've got this counter here, right? What it does is it takes temp string plus the current string and the counter. Can you see what the problem is here? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with our counter variable. When we finish this the first time, what's the value of our counter variable? It's whatever our current string length is, right? Plus 1. So we need to zero out counter again in order to start from the beginning. So let's do that. Let's take our variable value of a scene variable, counter, and set it back to 0 so that it can start here again from the beginning. Let's see if that does it. Okay, I'll hit the D key once. All right, now I'm going to hit return key to get rid of it, and I'm going to hit the D key again. Oh, look at that. We've got back to back. Now we've got back to back to back to back to back. All right. So we're not blinking out. Here's the issue right here. Again, this shows you that order matters here. You want to blank out the text before you hide it. Once you hide the layer dialog, it's gone. So now, because we're blinking the text first and then getting rid of it, it has a chance to actually get rid of or blank out that text. Let's try this again. Order of operations matters. Okay, let's hit the D key. Good. Let's hit return. D key. No, it's still there, huh? Oh, well, there's an easy fix for this. In our type on dialog, let's set current string. No, not there. Let's do it here. Kingdom Room collisions. Let's set our string of global variable current string equal to space. Okay, now let's go ahead and run a preview and see if that blinks it out effectively. Okay, let's hit the enter key, D again. No, it's still there, huh? Oop, temp string. Temp string is the other one we forgot. String of a global variable. I feel silly. Temp string has to be cleared again. Okay, there we go. All right, now it works well. All right, so we did some real-world debugging there. Now let's connect this to our game. And all we have to do is go to Kingdom Room Collisions and set current string and check for dialog here. So where we're doing this here, right, where we're doing this space key released, we need to load this value. We can load it up here, and then that way if the space key is released we can execute. That's one way of doing this here. Mean account is we need desk variable dot string dialog dot 0. Okay, so up here we're going to load string of global variable current string that's not right. Key manager current string, there we go, is equal to, and then I'm going to get the variable via the button here, text of a global variable, let's see, it's over, here we go. Huh, where is it? Hold on. Let me see that again. Oh, it's an object variable. That's why. All right, so it's desk.variablestring.dialog.0. Common expressions for all objects, variables, objects variable. The object is desk. Dialog.0 and hit apply. There we go. Okay, so when it's in contact with this, good. So we loaded our current string. Now we just need to delete that. And add at the top there instead a check for global variable value, check for dialog equals 1. And let's move this up here. Let's show our dialog first actually, then do our check for dialog, then update our dialog count. All right, let's just see if that works on the first try here, and then we can change the rest. All right. Good. All right. Let's change the rest then in Kingdom Room Collisions. Right, we're going to basically do the same thing here. We're going to change this. We're going to copy and paste. And change this to dialog.1. And we're going to do a copy for a check for dialog and paste it in here. We can get rid of this, delete that. Show dialog, we're not going to update that. We hard-coded this, so we can actually just say variable, global variable, string of a global variable. DManager.currentString equals this. We hit OK. Then we need to do a check. And it's the same thing here for room 2. We just need to do a global variable string of global variable. DManager.currentString equals this. And we need to run our check so that our code runs. Let's move show layer up to the top again. And we've got our chest here as well. Let's see, room 1. And it's the same thing. We're just changing the variable here. Global variable, string of global variable, current string, DManager.currentString equals set to this. And I think I still have, let me copy this so we can always just paste it in. We need to run our check here. I'm going to paste it. Let's show our dialog. Okay, same thing here. Change the global variable, string of a global variable. Okay, current string equals that. Let's do a copy and paste. I mean, just a paste, excuse me. Check for dialog. We'll move it underneath here. And move our show dialog up. And the same do-si-do over here. All right. For good measure, let's go ahead and do this one too while we're here. String of global variable. Make sure you're using string here. Add our check. Okay, last one. Last one I think for this section. And then I think we just have our doorway signs, right? Where are those? Those are in a different, that's in the kingdom. We won't deal with that right now. Okay, let's run a quick preview here and see how we did. Okay, good. How about the chest? Oh, there is no in Bob's room. Let's go out and then go into one of the other rooms. Again, we'll work on this. We'll work on this one when we work on the kingdom room. Good. Cool. Good. Last room. All right. And last thing. Okay,